Well, hello, my good sir.
Hello, lovey. We are welcome to the live Abraxas and Lunatic Dad's politics freaking discussion, a subject in which is very, very controversial and everything else. So if you do come on in or whatever the case may be, don't feel offended by what I may say or Abraxas or Missy or any of us may say. These are only just our opinions and what we believe in.
And if you guys have opinions of your own, let
Please
us know.
say them.
Because
We don't mind.
What? Everybody is allowed to their own opinion. It doesn't matter right or wrong. So
yes. There's usually a right and there's a wrong, and then we got what's called what's in the middle and everything else. You know, you could talk about politics and beliefs and everything and what you represent and everything else or what you follow, but just because you follow that doesn't mean that you cannot go ahead and respect other people's opinions, and that's what we're gonna begin the show with. Is respecting other people's political affiliations and everything else to bring some type of fucking sanity back to this damn world of what we call United States of America, the greatest country we live in. I salute America and everything else. But it is the honest to God truth that when you start talking about politics or what you believe in or whatever the case would be, sometimes people will be try to associate you that like disown you or whatever the case would be because you got a different political views on stuff and everything. But I say that if you want to go ahead and talk about politics and your beliefs and everything else, you got to also be understanding of other people's beliefs too. That's what makes this country the greatest country known to man. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. See?
Exactly. Politics. We inhabited this country a while ago because we wanted to get away from taxes from England. Can you stop?
And what are we doing now?
And we're paying taxes now.
There are people that have refused to pay taxes, and it's actually in the Supreme Court as we speak. And there are people, look it up and everything else, that there are people that refuse to pay taxes and everything else. They say it's against our constitutional rights and everything, all the additional taxes that we pay and everything else. Now, again, that is something. Now, there is no Democrat or Republican that will ever want that to be out there or whatever, either side, because that's one thing both sides can agree on. Can you believe that they both want to go ahead and tax the shit out of us people here in America? They don't give a shit. But the higher echelon, the 1%ers, what you always hear over the years from both sides of the aisle and everything, the 1%ers, they go ahead, believe it or not, they pay less taxes than just the average American person pays and everything else, because they got their little accountants, they got their little lawyers and everything else, breaking it down and everything else, and trying to get off with all this other loopholes and everything else. My question to the politicians would be on both aisles: why do you still have loopholes open in our taxing system? Why do you still have that shit open? You should not have that open whatsoever. Close everything down. Put it across the board. 15% for the real wealthy, regardless. You could try to, hell, look, Trump did that with our tax things or whatever. They eliminated like on your home. I used to get a credit for, paying the excess money and everything else. Well, underneath Trump, you had to go a certain amount over the amount of tax you paid before you started getting your credits on your taxes and everything else. I think that was a bad deal. Everybody lauded it as that was great for the middle class. No, that was not great for the middle class, because I pay about anywhere between $17,000 and $20,000 in federal tax a year. That's what Dad pays. Okay, that I pay throughout the year. At the end of the year, I'm lucky if I get $200 back on a tax refund. Underneath, before that was signed into law by Trump when he was in office, before that, I used to get $2,000-3,000 back and
Right.
everything. So was that good for the average American person? Was that good for the average person? No, I would argue that too. I mean, I got proof in the pudding. I mean, numbers are numbers. It's the same numbers, whatever I do every year, because I pretty much make the same amount every year. So if I'm making the same amount every year, and then all of a sudden, I used to make X amount of dollars and return, and now I get way, way less. Evidently, the tax code did not benefit people such as myself or yourself or whatever. It did not benefit everybody as much as it used to.
Exactly. And the funny part about it, when it comes to taxes, the middle class is the one that gets taxed the fuck out of when it comes to the government. Hell, look at Trump. The last tax return he filled out, he only had to pay $750 in because of his lawyers.
That's what they get paid the big bucks for to
Yep.
do. I mean, hell, but again, I don't give a shit what anybody says. There any politician. I don't give a shit what affiliation you are and everything else. They will all say we're for the people and for the people and everything else. No, they're for the freaking special agendas. The special interest groups rule this country. Special interest groups will always rule this country, and no matter what. I mean, they say, well, you get people. The thing that kills me is when someone's brand new getting into politics, and they say, I'm not just going to be Pollyanna cracker. I'm not going to just do what my party says. I got my own opinions and everything else. Then you go ahead and look at when they vote on certain topics in the House or in the Senate, and sure as shit, okay, you said that you got your own mind, so you're saying that, and every time they vote according to party line. Did you ever notice that now more than ever? You go back from Trump, you go back with Biden now, you go to, with Obama and everything else, everything has been party lines. Everything. I mean, no matter what is out there, you see like 238 votes on one thing, all Republicans. How in the hell? I mean, hell, we cannot even get ourselves. We cannot even get ourselves as Americans to get 230 people to go ahead and agree on everything. I mean, hell, and yet you can do that in the House of Representatives or in the Senate.
Man, I'm going to take her out.
Okay. See, she's giving her opinion. She agrees with it. Yep.
She's being very voice.
Don't get her now. Go.
Yep. Sorry, people. We have been invaded by the pup. The pup has decided that wanted to take over our live stream, which is okay. There is nothing wrong with that.
Dad, I think we need to go over the Constitution because a lot of people, I mean, like Amy and Chris were going over it, and I'm like, there's actually an Article 25 of the Constitution. I didn't know, and they're like, yeah, that's where the impeachment comes on. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, you look at it this way. It all started from when they tried to go ahead and when they tried to impeach Bill Clinton. Okay. That was the beginning of all this shit where both parties wanted to go and just use that impeachment as, well, we're just going to throw it around there. We want to go after Clinton. Then we want to go after Obama. Then we want to go after Trump. And then we want to go now with Joe Biden and everything else. Yeah. But people, I wish our political parties wouldn't just throw that so loosely out there that we're going to impeach. Before all that shit, before Clinton and everything else, you never have you ever heard people wanted to constantly impeach everybody and everything else. But I mean, it's just like, they're like, it's a payback. Let's even if we don't get the impeachment, but we still can go ahead and at least put it out there, and it makes the news. Why? Because it brings the party that's doing the impeaching closer together, the people closer together. I have not seen anybody that can just say you're a Democrat and actually be online and agree with some things that the Republicans do, and that bothers me because I'm sitting there like, you can't possibly have 100% agreement with your party. There's no fucking way in hell that you can be 100% in agreement with your party. There's no way. That's not. I mean, there's, like I said, I'm an independent. Okay, I am literally an independent, and I have voted Democrat. I have voted Republican, and I'm a proud independent. They have to earn my vote. The way I look at it, if you don't line up with some of my beliefs, you're not going to line up with all of them. No, you won't. I don't. When you're going for a president or a senator here from my home state of Illinois or whatever, I'm not going to agree with everything that you fucking say. But if I agree with you predominantly of the things that you say or are doing or whatever, then I'll go ahead and give you my vote. Just saying.
Well,
I don't think I tweeted you out, Mr. Chris. Chrissy.
For something is wrong because I'm not getting my chat.
I know. I don't see nothing neither. I don't see nothing on your chat neither.
You go live?
Yeah, I'm live.
Yeah, he's live. He is live.
So I'm going to have to look at my phone. Oh, the reason why, because nobody's chatting yet.
Well, they should.
Hey guys, don't be afraid to.
Yeah,
if
we like hearing your opinions.
If we say something you guys don't agree with, hey, put it in chat. It's okay. We don't mind. We like everybody's opinion.
Yes.
Like Dad says he's independent. Well, I grew up a Democrat, okay, but after everything's gone on, a Democrat, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But after everything,
I'm playing you.
Oh, I was like, why is it? What?
I got you on my phone. Sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if it's not showing up on what we're seeing. But anyway, if people go ahead and want to say something or whatever, come and get involved and everything else. But sometimes, like I said, you got a subject that is sometimes a little bit touchy to people or whatever the case may be, and they're afraid, well, maybe my friend might see I might be in the stream or whatever and have a different view or whatever the case may be. That kind of shit happens.
We welcome.
If somebody has to come in and say something about your opinion, we'll set them straight. Because everybody is entitled to their opinion when it comes to this.
You're independent. I was born and raised a Democrat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But after everything's going on, I don't really want to go for Democrat anymore. And I'm thinking about leaning towards the Republican Party, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Chris says, well, that's not Donald Trump. I said, well, what's Donald Trump? He's like, independent. And I'm like, well, then I think I'll vote for him. Chris goes, well, no, because I want to vote for
the Republicans
because he's for the gun rights.
Well, Donald Trump, he's a so-called Republican, okay? But with that being said, there's a lot of things that people don't know. Well, they don't care to do their actual research on and everything else. Did you know that Donald Trump at one time was a Democrat? They showed it up on CNN back then and everything. And he actually supported Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and gave millions of dollars to their campaign way back in the day before Donald Trump decided to become a Republican. A lot of people
heard something about that.
Oh, it's true. It's true. And it's documented and proof that he donated millions. Millions.
Damn true.
So again, people can switch of parties and affiliations and everything else. But that's the part why I say I always love being an independent, because no one can ever accuse me of shit, even though people have over the years. They're like, oh, he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat in some of his beliefs. I'm like, yeah, and there are some things that I believe in the Republican Party and what they stand for. I'm not Polly want a fucking cracker neither. I'm just saying.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Hey, Nerd of the North.
Hey,
welcome.
Nerd. What's up? How you doing?
He says Clarence Thomas needs to be removed from the Supreme Court and replaced with someone younger and less corrupted. Now, Clarence Thomas did receive a ton of money. I know what he's talking about. He's a Supreme Court justice and everything else. I believe, and I agree with Nerd, if you're a Supreme Court justice and you're receiving money and everything else, by outside influences and everything else, I agree with the man 100%. He's 100% correct. I mean, if you're receiving money and everything as a politician, you need and a lot of people say, well, the Supreme Court is not political. That's bullshit. Because if you look at both sides, look at both sides of the fence. When a Democrat gets in there, do they go ahead and get a conservative Supreme Court justice when the position is open? No, they're going to get someone that aligns with their beliefs and everything else.
Yep.
And then, I mean, you can go by like a lot of things with this abortion. That's a gigantic thing. Whoever would have thought? And it was political. I don't care what anybody says. I know that may piss people off and everything else, but to me, they made the abortion thing political. It's 100% political.
Now, back when Nancy Pelosi got kicked out of whatever, fired, something like that, I don't know, but whenever, and Kevin McCarthy wrote a bill. It's called the Nancy Pelosi bill. Okay, about insider trading. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, again, that is completely political. Everything's political, honey. That remember? Well, they swore up and down when Kevin. Now remember, how many times did it take Kevin to get nominated when they took over the majority in the House? His own people. What was it? I think 14 or 15 different votes to make him Speaker of the House.
Right.
Okay. So what does that tell you? That there was a lot of backdoor stuff going on in the background. Okay. Hey, you got to make sure that this is one of the agendas. You got to make sure you put me on one of your main groups and everything, that like committees assignments and everything else. There was so much. I was watching this as they were going ahead and doing these votes, and I'm sitting there like, holy shit, 15 times I think it was to nominate him the House of the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, there's people wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, but nerd is right. See, again, you know, Kevin, he is a good, he tries, how can I put it? I don't look at Kevin McCarthy as a real politician, first off. That's just my belief. You know, he is Pollyanna Cracker. If you remember when the insurrection happened, what did Kevin McCarthy say about Donald Trump? He bashed the shit out of him. Now, all of a sudden,
they're all on.
I hail to the Trump and everything else. And again, it's not my political things. I'm only going by what I have seen over that time since January 6th of the insurrection till now. People who his own party went ahead and denounced it and everything else. Now, all of a sudden, they change their ways. They change their ideas. They change like as if it never happened, you know. And you know, it was brewing for a long time. If you look about it, guys, that type of situation was brewing for a long time. And it just took the right president, the right time in society and everything else for it to happen. And I only got one left. So, yes. See, Mama wants, she's going to get involved in this shit.
Yay.
Mama loves Donald Trump.
Yeah, he does.
She said my ass loves Donald Trump. Oh boy. Yeah, she talking, you know, she talking shit. But let's get down and real about it. Everything is plain and simple, is according to your affiliation. They had the opportunity to change their party away from Trump. They had the opportunity, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because there was too many people still support Donald Trump and love him and everything else.
Mike Pence even did it because he came right to his aid when all this, when they were going against him with the insurrection and shit. You know, he's like, well, I don't think you need to be investigating him and blah blah blah. You know, that's not good to do that to an expert.
Listen to what Mr. Jason. You know, I love Jason and how's Miss Nerd at the North. She's fucking sweet potato pie, beautiful woman.
Anyway, they're both awesome.
Yeah. But listen to what he said. He said, imagine if they listened to Trump and took down the metal detectors and let everyone with real weapons, you know, and I agree. You know, I this is the thing that kills me. And it is, again, everything revolves around politics. I don't give a shit what subject matter it is. You know, you can say it's abortion, gun rights, rights to, if you want to be a transgender or if you want to be gay, lesbian,
Right.
whatever. It all eventually comes down to political affiliations. Everything comes down to political affiliations. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You go ahead and look it up. Everything that's going on, like this debt ceiling. Okay, here that now this is something that's going to affect every fucking body that is on Social Security or on disability or whatever the case may be to pay our debts and everything else. They are using, both parties do this shit all the time. When the Republicans were in there, the Democrats did it. When the Democrats are in there, the Republicans do it. And they don't think about the United States fucking citizens themselves. You fuck around with that debt ceiling and everything else and say, we're not going to go ahead and do it. We're not going to raise it. We're just going to, cause problems and everything else. Well, say that to a couple, maybe a woman that lives by herself or a man that lives by herself that depends on their Social Security to be able to eat, pay their electric gas. You think that these gas companies, electric companies, or cable companies, or phone companies, or food companies, or any of these motherfuckers, you think they even give a shit a rat's ass if you got your Social Security or not? No, they're going to shut that motherfucker right to complete the fuck off. They are going to shut off. You're not going to get your food and everything else because politicians play with people's lives. And if someone played with their fucking lives, they don't like that shit. Look how much they were scared at the insurrection. They ran like little fucking chickens without a fucking ass. They put their goddamn heads down and they didn't give a fuck. They were fucking hiding everything else. Well, real Americans out there cannot go ahead and pay for their food and everything else because there's people like that is trying to go ahead and just not raise that debt ceiling and everything else. You know what? Debt is debt. We're always going to be in debt. Get fucking over it. United States is the richest company, but yet we owe the fucking most. Period.
Yep. There's to bring up that whole thing about the politicians or the suit and tie people hanging their head down and running like chickens. There's a TikTok video out there with a guy rapping about the gang violence or drive-bys and stuff, but when it hits their turf, as in the politicians, they decide they want to do something about it. Right. But screw everybody else when there's riotings happening in towns all across the United States, but when it hits DC, they get pissed off about it.
Yep. And they had their chance January 6th. After that happened, they had their chance to bring this country completely together. And they had their chance, and all they had to do was denounce it and stick to their guns and everything else. I'm sorry. Like I said before, I voted Trump the first time. Second time, there was no way in hell. And if he ever runs again, there's no way in fuck I would vote for. I'm sorry. I will not vote for that man. No, I will not. No, because the way he talks and everything else, I'm sorry, but he does not align with, in my eyes, with the American way. He does not align with an average, just American citizen and everything else, because he aligns with the fucking whackpots. I'm sorry. I mean, you got a lot of fucking crazy ass son of bitches out there and everything else. There are people out there that just do not give a shit about, it's got to be just one way only, and that's it. Otherwise, you're called the Antichrist. When I was up on D-Live and everything else, and I talked about politics or whatever, trust me, D-Live has a ton of right-wing groups, a ton of them. And if you talk against it or whatever the case may be, they will come after you. They will.
Right.
They've done it to Dad and everything else. And I'm sitting there just like, are you fucking for real? Just because I got a difference of an opinion and what that is not your opinion. Exactly. Well, last time you claim about you want freedom of speech, freedom of this, freedom of right to bear arms, buy fucking big ass fucking machine guns and everything else, and just be able to carry them around the streets and everything else. You claim you want all that and everything else, but when someone has a difference in opinion than you or a different thought process than you, oh no, now all of a sudden, no. Well, you can't eat your cake and fucking eat it too. You got to be fucking, if you're a true-blooded red, white, and blue American in our country, you got to be open to everybody's fucking opinions on things. Because if you're not, then don't claim the Constitution. Don't claim the goddamn Constitution if you're trying to infringe my rights to go ahead and have freedom of fucking speech too. I say everybody should have the right to say whatever the fuck they want to.
Dad, the thing that pissed me off, like with Pelosi, when she was in office. Okay, this was back when COVID was real strong. Okay, she was like making sure that everybody there got their raises. What about the rest of the world?
What about the people that was working during COVID the whole time?
Right. And the people that got laid off from COVID
Got
got
$1,200.
But what did they get? Nothing.
Hmm.
Nothing.
You're speaking about the COVID, honey. Don't forget, there is a lot of companies that have made millions and millions of dollars off of the government that the
Yep.
big companies have been given millions and millions
That
of dollars.
Yeah, that was one of the insider trading things that Nancy.
Oh, yes, and a lot of people like out in trucking in the trucking world or whatever, COVID really hurt the private fleets. You know, like the people that own their own trucks, owner ops. It hurt them because a lot of the trucking companies that have like that employ actual employees to drive their trucks. Okay, they were given millions of dollars, millions, because everybody was working. Right now, as far as in trucking, the truck driver rules this fucking country. People don't realize that we rule this country. We got these companies by the fucking balls because we can easily shut down literally a trucking company if we wanted to. That's all we got to do is go to another trucking company and they'd have no drivers. Remember, if you ain't got the fucking drivers, you ain't got the goods. You ain't got the goods. Guess what? People are going to fucking get anxious and they're going to start uprisings and everything else. It will fucking happen. It will happen.
Tom McDonald says it plenty.
Yep. Listen to what Jason says. See, I'm so used to always calling him by his name. I'm always used to saying Jason. MVP, Matt Gates, Bobert, and Jim Jordan are terrible staying on the right wing, and Santos. Now, here's the thing. Now, everybody knows that Dad, if Santos actually runs in Florida, he hasn't went ahead and said that he's going to run.
Right.
Now, in the beginning, he was bashing Trump, right? But now he knows that he can't do that because the Republican Party is bucking him and won't support him if he bashes Donald Trump. Okay, you got to understand, there's a certain contingency in our country that Trump has locked in no matter what. The guy could rape a 10-year-old fucking broad and they would just say there's got to be a reason for it. It doesn't matter. I mean, this man walks on water to some people. He does walk on water to some people. Not to me, he doesn't. But, the only thing I say when it comes to our politics, it's a dirty fucking game. And it is very dirty. And that's why I don't really get a ton into the politics. I watch it all the time. I do. I watch Fox. I watch CNN. I watch, many different outlets, not just a Democratic outlet. I watch the Republican outlet. Then you got a lot of the dark rooms and everything else. Hell, go on D-Live. You got a bunch of it. They actually, D-Live got their hands smacked and everything else by the law because of a lot of the back room shit and everything else. There's a lot of, I don't have a problem with someone having an opinion, but when you got an opinion that just damns the whole party and the people that are a part of that party and don't care and everything else, it is unfucking believable.
Yeah.
Not Santos, DeSantis. That's who I was saying. Believe it or not, nerd. DeSantis. That's who I was talking about. DeSantis, Santos, and Santos. They both confuse me. They both got something similar to them and everything from Florida.
See, when we didn't vote last year, or the last election, right? And when it was for president, I was like, you know what, Chris? We're screwed either way.
We are.
They're all fucking evil. They're all fucking
evil. Sweetheart, that's what they want to train every American to do. What you just said, they succeeded. Seriously, what you just said, they succeeded. My vote doesn't matter. It doesn't count. It doesn't think. So if you don't vote, that's less against them. That is their mentality and everything else. If you remember when it was Donald Trump versus Joe Biden first time and everything else, they broke records all over the place. People came out and everything else. The only way the people are going to take back the party, take back our country for all Americans, Democrat, Republican, and Independents. The only way we're taking this shit back is not allowed to let that creep into our minds that our vote doesn't matter. They want that to happen. They want that to happen.
Dad, I got a question. What would you do if I would write in your name?
Say that one more time. I got to make sure my old ears heard this correctly. Go ahead.
What would you do if I wrote your name in as president?
Well, I bet you I can get, if I went for damn president and everything else, listen, they probably love me. They would probably freaking love me. I swear to God, because I got views on both sides of the fence that I'll be like, now listen, you didn't just because I'm an independent. Remember, there's certain things I agree with your party, so you got to go ahead and give me your fucking vote. And certain things I agree with your other fucking party. You got to give me your fucking vote. One day I should fuck around on YouTube. Hey, let me see how many votes I can get for Lunatic Dad for president. That's a funny one. Maybe I should dress up and everything else.
Here we go.
Hashtag Lunatic Dad for president.
I think, believe it or not, the average American that has nothing to do with politics, just their mindset and their thinking, the average American that doesn't just say Polly want a cracker, the people that actually sit around a table talking about the meat and bones of the world and everything that's going on and everything else, I bet you they could be a better president than anything that we ever have our elected officials out there and everything else. I bet you. Hey, Betty, how are you, sweetheart?
Hi, hey, Betty.
I bet that could happen as well.
I bet you. Mm-hmm.
So, Dad, would your vice president be Mom?
Hell no. She'll probably have me assassinated so she can become fucking president. Oh no. No, Missy, you can be my vice president. What do you say?
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then
I'll be better than Kamala though, because
hey, listen, sweetheart. I think that's true. You are right on that. I will have Chris as my Secretary of State. He's got to take care of my military because you know no one would ever fuck with our country if Chris is Secretary of State. I'll tell you that right now.
Keep your shit up or we'll bomb your ass.
Yeah. But seriously though, if you think it, Nerd and Nord says, I'm not bothered by gay people or transsexual people. They don't impact my life. They don't hurt my life. I love when people are in love. That is another subject we would have that we're going to talk about. But today's politics, but that is true. Believe it or not, again, there are things that, and again, I respect everybody's fucking opinion when it comes to that subject and everything else. I may have a difference of an opinion. My wife, I've already told, like Chris and Missy, Missy and Mama are going to do a live stream together where I'm not even going to be a part of this motherfucker. I'm just going to be in the background, just shaking my head, saying, "Oh my God." Yeah, but
that brings up another thing, especially with the guns. Of course, Second Amendment, right to bear arms, and they want to make stiffer gun laws. Okay, I ain't got a problem with that. Really, I don't. But they say guns kill. With the guns people are using, killing children with them. Look at their pro-life abortion, which kills more. Or pro-choice abortion, I should say.
I was going to say, pro-life, isn't that like where they wouldn't have the kids without?
Pro-choice abortion, which would kill more kids.
Another Tom McDonald.
Again, that is another. I mean, these are hot topics, when you're talking about abortion and everything else. These are very hot topics. And again, what does it align itself with? It aligns itself with a political affiliation. So it's actually fair game in this live stream to even talk about that. It's fair game and everything else. But man, Nerd, see what Nerd said? I'm gonna punch Nerd in his baby nuts. He said, "Don't forget, Dad dressed up like a woman." And then I did. And did you see the reaction that I got from people?
Yeah,
I did that video for a reason. And everything else, to see what people would look at me if I tried to go as a woman and everything else.
I have a question. When you did dress up like a woman, did you ever try to use the women's bathroom?
Let me tell you, I give you guys credit who wear pantyhose because my nuts were like so pushed up and everything else. They were no longer hanging down to my fucking knees and shit because of the damn pantyhose, man. Them are uncomfortable. I could not wear pantyhose. I can't do it.
They were shriveled up.
Oh, they weren't shriveled up. I'm just saying.
No. Wait a minute, Dad. You had frozen balls.
Thanks, nerd. Thanks,
Remember?
nerd.
We were talking about that in the video. You had frozen balls.
I don't understand. And oh gosh, no, I'm not going there with this on this one because I was gonna say if it wasn't balls or whatever, and it was for JJ and the air goes up there and everything else. Whoo, I don't know how you women wear that shit where it goes right up to ding ding. Man, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I'm just saying. But again, when it comes to like you were talking about the different guns and everything else, but right to bear arms, I'm a gun owner myself, and I do believe in right to bear arms. I do. I believe it, but I don't believe that you need an AK-47. I don't. Not for an average American. I believe that's for the military or an Uzi. You know what the fuck you need an Uzi for? You're gonna go. They say I use it for hunting. How in the fuck you ain't gonna take the damn deer home because he's gonna have about 15 shots and I'm obliviated to fucking hell. What I people who use the guns for personal protection in their home, I'm all for it. People who use it for hunting, I'm all for it. For target practicing, I'm all for it. But what the fuck you need an AK-47? That's why they have that shit in Chicago, because some of these young kids, they're going just on a drive-by with an AK-47 and they're lighting up a whole fucking neighborhood. I know. I live fucking there and everything else. That shit is not just what you see on the news. That shit happens all the fucking time because they got access to these magazines and everything else where they change the gun and they put a magazine in there and everything else and it'll let out fucking 15 rounds of fucking bullets. What the fuck you need that for? What do you need that for? You don't need that. That is not infringing on your rights as a gun owner. I'm sorry. I will argue that to the day I die. They are not infringing on your rights if they're trying to get rid of the magazines and they're trying to get rid of regular American people having access to AK-47s, Uzis, and stuff like that. They're not trying to infringe on your rights. No, they're trying to also protect the common Americans because you never know, a motherfucker loses their mind or whatever, and they decide to go ahead and light up a street or just kill a bunch of people or whatever. If they didn't have the access to the fucking AKs and everything else, the shit wouldn't fucking happen. You might be able to limit the damage on if they lose their mind and want to go do something. You might be able to limit the damage. You might. I don't know.
Like I said, I have no problems with them trying to make stiffer gun laws. Okay? Some of them can get a little out of hand. Don't get me wrong. But then you got these people voting on pro-choice abortion, and there's a lot of young women out there getting pregnant.
There's a lot of women that just go out there to have fun,
and then they get an abortion afterwards because they don't want to have the responsibility. Where does that make it right?
Again,
with the government. Thank you.
Now again, that is that comes to the point of like with the right wing, the Republicans. Okay, they are anti-abortion no matter what and everything. Now again, I support abortion when it comes to molestation, rape, stuff, an horrific act that the female did not want. Did not want to be raped. They didn't want to be gang raped. They didn't want to have all the shit that happened to them and everything else. They just were going to wherever they went and crazy shit happened. But I'm also belief is that there's a lot of people out there that would take a baby that if you went to a party and you got a little fucked up and everything else and you laid down with a guy and got pregnant or whatever the case would be, if you didn't want the baby or whatever, why can't you just go ahead and give it to a couple that cannot have kids, but they're looking to have a child or whatever the case may be?
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I get
right.
That. Now back to the gun, Dad. Okay. My thinking.
I agree, nerd.
My thinking has always been with like when it comes to guns, okay, and they're wanting to get rid of handguns, shit like that, because they're like, well, we don't need them. Well, okay. You take our guns away, somebody breaks into your house, kills you, hurts you, right? Where did they get the gun? They went to the black market, probably, or somebody that's selling them out of their trunk,
Yeah, that's one source. That's one source. The black market is heavy on being able to you can get whatever the hell you want and
Yeah.
everything else. But when do you ever see the politicians? You know, they talk about they want to curb gun violence and these mass shootings and everything else. Yeah, then why are these sites still up that people can get guns
Right.
free willing it? Don't tell me that you don't know. I'm sorry, the government knows everything fucking we're doing. I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
They know what the fuck we are tracked. I do believe that
But
somehow, some way they know what the fuck we're doing
the
Yep.
way
and everything
the
else.
way I see it, if
And-
you want it bad enough, there's a will, there's a way, they're going to get it regardless.
Okay.
True.
Now, say I go on the black market, buy a few hundred ARs or AK-47s.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
We can never
But
find
the
that.
thing is, who's running the black market or the dark web?
Yeah.
Who has their hands into it?
Believe it or not, that's a good question. And if you want my true belief, what I believe is someone that doesn't even live in the United States of America.
I can
That is-
tell you who.
I
seen a
say
video on this.
North Korea. I believe
Uh,
states that are like that. I mean countries that are
There's-
like that.
China, North Korea, Russia. This is going to be the one that you're probably going to say surprise the fuck out of you.
United States.
The United States, every
Mhm.
little country in this world, all has their hands dipped into the dark web because
I
they are
believe that.
getting money
It
from the
doesn't
dark
surprise
web
me. Okay,
over it for not busting them.
the North Street pipeline, right? Who had their hand in that?
Hmm.
United States.
I believe it. I believe it.
That's
Remember,
right.
remember the guns and everything else. That's big money. That is big
Yep.
money. You know, when you talk about political and everything else, if everybody remembers when all the cocaine back in the 80s, in the early 80s, when cocaine was coming into our country, like no problem, right in from Florida up to the Panhandle, straight into our country, no problem. Then all of a sudden, it started killing a lot of people and all the violence and everything else. Then all of a sudden, the politicians all of a sudden wanted to go pretend like they actually gave a shit about the American people. Hell no, they didn't. They didn't give a shit about any of that.
I'm
You don't think these people are paid off? Honestly, do you believe in your heart that our politicians are paid off? Because when they get out of office, when these fucking people get out of office, tell me why they make more money than when they were in office. Just answer that question. Any politician, please. Any politician, answer that question. Why do you make more money when you left office than when you were in office? Because it's called an IO fucking you policy. I will make sure that your agenda stays safe and you're making all that money. But when I get out of office, that I can make sure that I get reciprocated money. I really believe that. I really believe that.
That's the thing. My thinking, the politicians, 90% of them do not give a fuck about the people
Nope.
at all. They are out there to line their own goddamn pockets
And if
and
they
to basically say fuck everyone else.
and if they vote for something that their constituents don't want, you know, they're gonna lose the backing of all them
Yep.
constituents. You know, so
Yep. It all comes down to money, Missy. I agree 100% with you. Everything comes down to money. Plain and simple. I don't give a shit what party you're in. I mean, believe me when I tell you this, that, like I said, politics, even back when I was coming up, we always called it dirty shit. I mean, it was like, we called it like the dirty Stanley, underneath your nose. You get what I'm saying? We knew it and everything else, but we knew we ain't going to change nothing or whatever the case may be and everything. And now think about it. When it comes to like all these guns and ammunitions and everything else, who in the fuck do you not think is getting their piece of the fucking pie? The United States government. And I'm sorry if they send a hitman to my house or whatever, but it is what it is. It is what it is. They know it. We know it as Americans that
right,
we.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dad. Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
they want us divided, and the people who do these live streams and everything else, like on D Live or different platforms or whatever, and it's just like just one party. That's it. The government is sitting there smiling their ass off. They're like, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are programming you accordingly the way we want you to be. We want half of America to think one way. We want America, the other half, to think the other way, so that we lose focus on what are the most important things happening in our country. So if we divide America, guess what? They're never going to come together and tell us, fuck you. Okay. And that's the truth. That is the government's way. You believe me when I tell you, you honestly think the Democrats and Republicans on the shows, they're bashing each other and everything else. But I guarantee you, when it's all said and done, they're not on camera and everything else out there for the American public to see. They're sitting there having a fucking doob or drinking a beer or going out to dinner and everything else. 1 minute they're enemies, next minute behind closed doors, the true them come out.
Yep. They're out there hugging each other, doing all sorts of things, whatever you want to call it, with each other, and they're like buddies.
That's like when you said they're gonna send an assassinator to my house or whatever to assassinate me. That made me think of the song that Tom McDonald has, because he even says in the song that they don't like the way he's telling everybody exactly how it is, that they're going to kill me, they're going to, loosen my brakes, or they're going to, slip something in my food, or what, I'm afraid to go anywhere,
Just imagine if our show had 1 million people watching it right now. You don't think for a second that doesn't alert to the government?
Oh, and yeah, it does.
You don't think it would? Oh, yes, it would. Because they'd be like, whoa, they got a big audience and everything else. We better, you see it all the time. People who do try to speak out and everything else, trying to go ahead and bring the country together in their thinking and everything else. They don't want that. The government wants, I don't give a shit when they say we're all one people. The politicians say that when they run for office, president, we're all one and everything else. And then they say, even the people that didn't vote for us, we still accept you. What do you mean you still accept me because I didn't vote for you? So what? You're now my president. I will support you. Because I'm not going to be the type of person that goes ahead and just because I didn't vote for you and everything else, I'm going to be like, nope, for the next 4 years, you're not my president. I hate when people talk like that. I hate that so much. No, if you're voting as my president, I may not agree with your ways and everything else, but you're still my fucking president. My forefathers, your forefathers, all of our forefathers fought for that right to be free and do what we want in America. They fought and gave down their lives for that. So you know what? I may not agree with your policies or whatever the case may be, but hey, for the next 4 years, I will acknowledge you as the president of the United States of America.
Exactly. Well, like you said, I may not agree with it, but I guarantee if they tried to infringe on the rights, I will speak my mind. But I do agree. They were voted in as a president. You will acknowledge them as a president until they decide to start infringing on your civil rights. Of being either free or the freedom of speech or the right to bear arms or whatever the case may be. Sorry, Missy.
It's okay. There is a song by Tom, okay? No, I'm going to say...
Are you in love with this fucking Tom McDonald? Hey, Abraxas, you better look into this shit.
She is.
No, you know what? Like I said the last time, nobody kicked my ass, okay? But anyway, there is a song, and in the song says, if my stars and stripes offend you, I'll help you pack your bags.
That's America.
Yep. And then in this other song where Stoker Jennings is talking, if we can't find a resolution with everything...
There will be a revolution.
Right, that's what I was saying, Chris.
But you said revolution.
No, I think I said revolution.
No, you said revolution.
Anyway, go back and look. Anyway.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, we're fighting like a married couple?
Yeah, no shit. You remind me of someone I know. You remind me of someone I know. Go ahead.
But, I mean, all the songs from Tom McDonald are truthful. I mean, whether you like him or not, it's the truth, and nobody. You know what I'm saying, Dad? Nobody. I mean, some of the shit is like he says against transgender or whatever, but he don't have a problem with it. But I think they're taking that whole transgender thing too far. You know, not only transgender, but binary or whatever the heck they. There's too many freaking pronouns. And
Well,
what the hell is the them in a day?
you know, I would love to someday be able to get a transgender person and either a gay or a lesbian person on the panel with us, have both sides and what they actually truly believe. I mean, but again, there is I think that would be hard to do. I mean, because believe it or not, as I said before, I know a lot of gay people. A
But they
lot of
don't-
gay. I'm not talking about social media gay people, and I'm talking about in my real life. I know a lot of gay people, and believe it or not, they are anti-transgender, and that blows my fucking
Yes.
mind. It blows my mind because I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't you bitch and moan and felt so degraded when people didn't accept your identity, what you identify yourself with? But
Right.
then you're turning around and judging the transgender community. That don't it sounds weird to me.
You want to hear something else that's even more crazy?
Yeah.
90% of the transgender judges the transgender community.
Because they have, again, I can't speak for them. I really can't. I mean, because I'm not and everything else. But maybe the only thing I can think of is that some people are truly, they feel transgender in their heart and they went through the whole process and everything else. And then there's people that are not, and they're just identifying themselves as transgender, but they're not doing nothing to make that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they could be against each other. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well,
Okay, our one friend.
the one friend of ours that is in the process of the surgery and all that, she says she does not share the same views as the other transgender
LGBTQ and all that.
or anyone from that whole community. She feels like she's basically blackballed out of it.
Well, again, that would be interesting. That's your job to get people that are not straight, okay? What we call straight, man and a woman, okay?
Right.
It would be very interesting to have their mindset and what they, you know, feel and what they've been through and, you know, what they think about other people that are transgender. To me, again, I support everything. I mean, that's the way I am, you know, because again, I don't have to lay down with you. I don't have to start a family with you. I don't have to do that. If that's what truly makes you happy as a person, if you are comfortable in your skin, I am not Jesus Christ that I pass judgment on you. It's not for me to judge.
Right.
Okay. It's not my place. It's not my
Exactly.
Oh, sorry. Yep. I know what you mean.
Listen what Nerd said. He said being trans during the environment must feel like hell.
It is.
Yeah, from what we've been told, it is. It's real hell. Especially the same person was basically been taken off YouTube like 5 or 6 times because people keep reporting her accounts.
They hacked her.
They hacked her. They got rid of her YouTube channels, her emails for that account, and everything.
I got to tell Kyle to shut the fuck up. He's playing his fucking drums.
No, tell Kyle we said hi too.
No, I'm not saying shit. Fuck him. He can kiss my ass.
Well, he's got to do his thing.
Yes.
Hey, Lunatic Dad.
Is it about politics?
No.
Hold on one second. No, he can. Let him.
Could I pay you $50 to come smash my TV?
You wouldn't have to pay me anything. I would enjoy doing that son bitch for nothing. Hey, make sure it's your dad's. Hell yeah, make sure it's his. I'll fuck his shit up in a second.
And then I'm going
Oh,
to
yeah.
ass until he buys me a brand new one the same
Listen,
time, the same
I like him.
everything.
I like him. I like his mindset. I like him. He's a good kid. Fuck yeah. Give me a hell fucking yeah, buddy.
Hell yeah!
Swear. Okay, well, the F word didn't come out, but that's all right.
Oh,
He's probably like, no, that's you. You're the one that swears like that.
Yes, he does.
You dirty, dirty boy.
That's the oldest one.
I'm making him blush. He's making him blush. I call you a dirty boy.
Hey, listen to what Nerd said. Nerd says one of the biggest things to worry about in this world right now has nothing to do with any of this. Well, I might disagree. All artificial intelligence is getting out of hand. Well, now me, I know nothing about artificial intelligence. I'm about as dumb as a bag of fucking rocks when it comes to that, Nerd. That would be something that maybe you could have something about that. I have no idea. What the fuck is artificial intelligence anyway?
A computer simulated person.
Oh,
AI.
Like Siri.
so somebody can fucking imitate
Siri.
me.
Siri, Alexa, Google, Laura. Yeah, there's a bunch of different apps for it.
Oh.
Your Apple has Siri.
Oh, hey,
Samsung has.
what is your son? What is his name? You told me before, and I keep on Austin, buddy. When I come and visit you guys and everything else, meal and everything, listen, we're gonna do some shit together, buddy. All right, we're gonna book that shit. All right, but it's gonna be Lunatic Dad style. It ain't gonna be your dad style. It's gonna be my style.
breaking shit.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Just wait. If I keep this damn old laptop around, we're gonna get rid of it.
No, I'm looking for some good shit to fuck up. I'm just gonna go around your place and decide when you ain't paying attention. I'm like, you need this? Yeah. Fuck you do. Boom. Sorry. Then I'll give you the money and I'll say sorry, Chris. How much did it cost?
Yeah, I know he would.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would.
Oh,
But yeah,
What?
I can break a printer.
A printer?
It's
What
like
printer?
A printer that I paid $3 for.
Oh.
I
thought you meant the printer up
but
there.
yeah, there's
Like
a
out
lot
The 3D printer.
of things that can be under politics. Artificial intelligence. That was actually started up by the
Oh,
government.
you know what? Nerd is right. They've got here, speaking of that, wow, it just came into my fucking head right now. Is that I'm based on golf. Did you see? They use an artificial person calling the golf game and everything else on the PGA Tour just recently. Now I know what you're talking about. No, they're boring. The fucking thing's robotic and everything else. Fuck that noise. Imagine artificial Lunatic Dad. Fuck that shit, motherfucker. Get the hell out of here. Take that shit and shove it up your ass.
You want to know a good movie to reference that? iRobot.
What about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Out, yeah.
iRobot was an okay movie.
But it was the very first one they actually did that was so much lifelike to AI.
Detroit Become Human is a game that's really good. And it's AI robots realizing that you played it on your live streams.
The movie that we watched last night, that was fucked up.
What?
The one about when the people were controlling the other humans.
Bye, Justin.
Yeah. There was a show called Gamer that we watched last night, and the people that were playing the game
put chips in people to have them controlled.
Yeah, they were the ones that was controlling the players, and I'm like, what the fuck? That it's coming something stupid like that. I mean, oh my god!
It makes you wonder what they're actually going to do through the government.
Yep.
Hey, let me tell you something. I have, when I was back in the 70s, they were talking about this shit, okay? They were talking about all this future stuff like that is happening now. Believe it or not, like the internet and all this, they were talking about that there's going to be some type of program which is going to bring all people together and everything else. But they didn't realize that the internet actually has also destroyed a lot of people and everything else. It's true. It's true. I mean, look at what's happening now. A lot of people are affiliated with each other and everything else. And if you got a difference in opinion and everything else, I also believe that the internet breeds fucking hate. It does. It does a lot of good. Don't get me wrong. The internet does a lot of good things, but it also creates a lot of hateful things too.
Yep.
That's just my opinion.
Especially right here on YouTube.
Okay, my question is, what about electric cars? Do you like the electric cars or not? Because
electric cars?
Yeah, Biden's telling everybody, they need to buy an electric car. Okay, you going to give me the money for it?
Let me tell you something. Again, that's getting back to the politics. You don't think that if that was happening, where they got rid of all gas cars, right? They got rid of them. Okay, think about this. How many cars in the United States? Where in the fuck are you going to get all this energy to supply that many freaking cars?
Exactly.
Okay? Where are you going to get it? Okay. I mean, I'm sorry, but again, I am a gasoline man, and I will never buy an electric car. Hell fucking no. It ain't going to happen.
I won't either.
It ain't going to happen.
I saw like reports that those electric cars catch on fire and shit. Nope.
Well, a regular car
I've
could
been
just
in a
as well
fire
catch
before
on fire
when
too.
I was younger, and no, I don't want to go through that shit.
Well, they start smoking because their battery packs,
yeah, but
like on the Teslas, are up underneath the car instead of in a compartment.
Who's giving them the money to do this? You don't think that they're getting all types of grants and free money and everything from the United States government to do this?
Musk has over $200 billion.
And Elon Musk
there
is
you go.
made millionaire, and he's the one that owns Tesla.
He's the one.
He also has spaceships and shit that he's trying to start.
Okay, here's
like
going to the moon.
Here's my thinking. Okay, he's talking about all these electric cars and shit like that. Okay, you figured they got Air Force One. Is that fucking electric? No, it's not. They've got their fucking limousines that take each and every one of them everywhere. Are those all electric? No, they're not.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Going back to another social media platform, TikTok. There was a video on there.
Chris, you're getting off.
You're getting off track very hard.
No.
Yeah, you are. You're going way left.
Because this has to do with politics.
Okay, go ahead.
The whole idea of the electric cars.
Wait, is this whole live stream?
Biden.
Yes.
Oh, I got politics.
Biden was asked about government papers that he took home. He said, they're in my Corvette. What does Corvette run on until this year?
Gas.
Gas, of course.
Now they got an electric Corvette. But
Again,
this was before this whole idea with the electric Corvette being shown to the public.
I would love to be able to see their bank accounts when they leave the fucking office and what special interest groups have given them millions of dollars. Millions.
Yep.
Trust me. Why is it that every president makes more out of office when they leave than when they're in office? Because if they accept the money when they're in office, they're going to jail. Okay? It's illegal. It's completely illegal. But when they leave office, it's open fucking season. It is open season.
Well, it's probably going to be hunting season when they get done with Biden and Hunter. Anyway, the whole scandalous bullshit that they did.
What about gun control?
We already talked about that.
But your son is 100% correct. Again, everything is paid off. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I don't give a shit. All of our politicians are paid the fuck off.
Exactly.
Period. They are paid off. I mean, they can't get it when they're in office. Okay. They can't get that money when they're in office. But when they leave office, why is it that they got all these cushy things and they got all this money and everything else? It's shit. Thank you, America, for being divided. Thank you for being divided, because that's the way we wanted to program you. We are programmed as fucking Americans. Either you're left or you're right and everything else. And no matter what, people just eat that shit up. Why? Because they love to be a part of a group. They don't have their own independent fucking mind to think about what they believe, because they're afraid of being dispelled or attacked on social medias or whatever the case may be. They're afraid of it. They are not willing to allow themselves to just be independent thinkers. The independent mind,
The
the
freedom.
politics,
Yeah.
the politics of now America are so afraid of an independent voter. We are growing and we are getting stronger and stronger and stronger in America because people are getting tired of the Republicans and the Democrats. They're getting tired of both parties, and the independent is taking over. And I can see this in 10 years from now or whatever. I can actually see the independents being 40% of the voter base. I can see it happening.
Dad, I know you're gonna hate me.
I could never hate you, sweetheart.
There's another Tom McDonald song called "The System."
I've heard it. I've heard it. hmm
Well,
In the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, they hate y'all.
Well, here's the thing that I don't agree with Nerd at all. And this is something that my home state, people have had lawsuits against companies and have been awarded this facial recognition thing that they're talking about until adequate safeguards are put in place. I agree. I don't believe that you should have a face guard and everything else, because if you get some person that gets that into the wrong place and everything else, they can create fake IDs and all this other shit out of your image and everything else. I think personally that hell no. There's lawsuits here in the state of Illinois, just like fingerprinting when you got to go into some places. Oh, what the hell is that? Whoa, my doggy. Wow, that was pretty fucking wild. That's wild, dude. That is wild. I like it. Even a dog's looking at him like, what the fuck is that? R2D2. See, he's programmed. That's what they put on you when they're going to program you by the fucking government. That's what they do. They put that thing on his face. Just saying. I'm just saying.
The purge scared the hell out of me and I quit.
hey, now Austin, put it up.
Hi, baby girl.
I don't.
Put it up.
I'm gonna steal your mask.
No, you're.
Cody.
I just
Don't
wanna
whine.
find the
Continue the conversation,
Brown.
Mr. Abraxas. Abraxas. Yes.
Oh,
So, what part did we leave off on?
Yeah, see, you are ADHD. You can't even remember it.
It's
Probably.
an ADHD did it to me.
Oh, yeah, you're ADHD. Don't blame your son. Blame your damn self.
He
He is too.
There's
I
nothing
know
wrong with that.
guns. Yay.
Oh my god, would you stop?
Another thing that it comes down to government, mental health, even the way they have the hospitals treat their patients.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, it's better now, is like the VA and everything else. The VA back in the day was horrible. The way they treated, the veterans and everything else. It was horrible. Very bad. I mean, it's getting better now, but it's back then was very bad. Very bad.
So yeah.
The thing.
They still yell at them even today.
Okay, Dad. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. I'm getting.
I want to know your thoughts on when Biden made everybody leave out of Afghanistan. I want to know what your thoughts are on that, because like when the soldiers that got killed came back, he was standing there looking at his watch like he had somewhere to fucking be. How rude and fucking disrespectful.
I agree 100%. Now, as far as bringing them out of Afghanistan, at some point in time, they had to come back home.
Yeah.
At some point in time. But I think it was very dysfunctional. I think the way they had it done and everything else, and, they're rushing everybody up on the plane, everybody that wanted to get out of Afghanistan and everything else. But what a lot of people don't realize is that they had months before that to leave. Now, if you're told that we're about to get nuked, all right, and they're telling people get out of that area, but then you wait to the last minute and utter chaos breaks out, is that the warning system's problem, or was that you not heeding the warning way in advance?
Right. I get that.
Right.
I mean, but I agree with you 100%. I think the way that was handled in Afghanistan, Biden did a poor job. Okay, now mind you, like I said, I'm independent. You know, I can go either way and everything else. I think it was half-ass put together personally.
Well, how they left all of the planes over there and helicopters and whatever, the guns and all that shit.
Yep.
Now those weapons can be used against us.
Actually,
Well,
most companies actually disassemble their weapons and
Did
shit.
they?
And
Or-
they
or
did. They
just-
did. Your son is right. Your son is right. They did disassemble, but still, if you got an intelligent person or an intelligent the enemy or whatever, what you disassemble, they can reassemble.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and think about all that. You know, what bothers me most is when they say we left all that treasure there in Afghanistan, right? You hear the Democrats use that term all the time. We left all that treasure there, and I say, no, you brought home the biggest treasure, which was our men and women who served
Yep.
over there. They are the most important thing.
Right.
But that's the fucked up mentality. That is the fucked up mentality for the way they look at us. The government looks at us. We're just just like little pawns, like they're playing a fucking game of chess and everything else.
Oh, it is.
They don't look at us as fucking people and everything else. They don't. They don't. But God forbid, you leave some tanks, a bunch of tanks over there and ammunition and everything else. Oh, we lost treasure and left it there and everything. Motherfucker, listen, that shit can be replaced. First off. Second off, you're worried about the security of the United States of America. Then why the fuck you even? This shit should have been way in advance. Started bringing all that shit out of Afghanistan months in advance,
Mhm.
and started getting that shit the fuck out of there instead of leaving that there.
Right.
I mean, you don't think they gained any type of knowledge of our military power as far as what we have by having that stuff there? You don't think that there's some smart person that can go ahead and tap into everything of our equipment that is left there? You think? I'm just saying.
Okay.
I agree.
Dad.
just listen to critical
Sorry,
acclaim.
sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, nerd. Sorry to hear that, brother. Rest in peace to your Uncle Dave, buddy. Rest in peace.
Sorry.
What?
Rest in peace. A nerd's uncle passed away.
Oh man.
When he came back,
Sorry to hear that.
from Afghanistan, he came back from Afghanistan and survived, and then came home and died on a fishing trip. You see that?
No.
See, that's how life is so unpredictable. You know, he sat there in his Green Beret and fought in Afghanistan, and then all of a sudden he's just back home and everything else, and he died on a fishing trip.
Talking about war
Wow.
now. Vietnam.
So
Biggest government conspiracy there was.
Yep.
you don't think we could have won that thing in a year? Huh. With what we had, we could have won that thing in a year.
Right. But look how because of the government telling the news what they can and cannot play on the news, look how our troops were treated. They were treated like shit.
Baby killers,
garbage.
all that and everything else. My brother came home and he said that he never thought in the greatest country in the world that he would have been treated like that. He was only doing what his superiors told him to do, is go there and fight. He was in the military, fought in Nam and everything else. And to be treated like that, America should be ashamed of itself, how they treated the Vietnam veterans. Ashamed of themselves.
Well, like I said, the news only showed bits and pieces. They didn't show the kids with the shoe shine box laced with a C4 bomb in it.
Yeah.
With the
Yep.
pressure switch.
Well, don't forget they were putting
Bombs and
explosives
babies.
in their diaper. The
Yep.
you know, and that's why it got that name when Americans were called baby killers. Okay, but
Yep.
no one ever asked, well, why did they shoot a baby that kept on coming too close? Because they were sending babies with bombs in their diapers and everything else to go to the soldiers, and so that they can kill a whole freaking battalion or whatever, 20, 30, 40 people at a time. So they, what are you going to do? What would you do if you were serving in the military and you have all this intelligence? You've seen it where a baby is coming up there and all of a sudden explodes and kills 20, 30 people. And then you see it again somewhere else in that war. What would you do as a military personnel? What would you do? What? I mean,
unfortunately, I would have to do the same thing.
Yep.
Because it's either me coming home to my family or me dying.
Yeah. And imagine the people that did kill the babies and everything because they were trying to protect that. Imagine how mind fucked they are, from this date that there's, they're alive and everything else, and they're back here in the States and everything else, and say they have babies or kids or whatever, babies coming up and everything. You don't think that mind fucked them having to go ahead and take out a little baby walking with the diaper only on? I mean, that. I believe the people that have served in Nam were the ones that were the most traumatized psychologically. I mean, because the psychological warfare in Nam, I mean, that was my brother. My brother told me shit that I just sat there and I was like, are you serious? You went through that and everything else? He was like, listen, I got my brother got captured. Okay. This is a story I have never told ever on social medias or whatever. He said he used to get his ass beat all the time. He would get fed every 3-4 days. He lost about 60, 70 fucking pounds and everything else. So,
Wow.
Think about that. Think about that. The psychological warfare that these people played on our soldiers back then and everything else. I mean, he doesn't talk much about it now. He really doesn't. He doesn't really talk a lot about it. And I don't blame him because, like I said, my oldest brother, he's not 100%, let's say, he gets them flashbacks. We could be together talking at a table, whatever, and all of a sudden he's got that look like he's here, but he's not here. If that makes sense to you.
Yes.
Right.
It does.
And that's crazy. That's crazy to see it and everything else. But I believe the Vietnam vets were the worst treated by America. I mean, and we should, again, everybody that's ever affiliated with our military, you should never, ever have to pay for a fucking thing on healthcare, period. And you should be able to go to any doctor, not just the VA. It should be paid by the American fucking government, the people and everything else. They should be able to go anywhere, not sitting in long ass lines to get treated and everything else and waiting for stuff. No, you should have 100% health care, neurologically, physical, anything. You should have 100%. If you're willing to lay down your life for us, if you're willing to protect my freedom, well, damn it, the least thing we can do is give you 100% fucking health care anywhere in the United States of America.
Not only that, statistics, I'm going to take a guess on this. Probably a good 75% of our homeless are Vietnam vets or veterans, period.
Oh,
yeah, it's sad. And Nerd is right. It was Nixon who decided to make a profit off healthcare. It was Nixon. Yep. He is 100% correct. Hey, Nerd's from Norway, and he knows a lot about our damn country.
Right.
How long did he live here in the U.S.?
Yeah, I forgot. I know he lived here first. I know that, if I'm correct. Now watch me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. He was born and raised here in the U.S. and then he met and moved to Norway.
Norway, yes.
Oh, but the thing is, these veterans shouldn't even be homeless. The government should supply them with a home. Right. And treat them like royalty for what they have done for our country.
Right.
But instead, no, they get spit on. They get treated like shit.
There would be a time I would love to have Nerd or North on a panel as one of our guests someday, because getting his perspective on things, stuff that he's seen in the United States, and then he went and lived in Norway. You realize how there's a difference in ways and everything else. He would be a very, very interesting person to talk to about certain things and everything else.
Yeah.
You don't know how long I've tried to get him up on a panel just to interview him.
Well, that's surprising.
And the thing is, with our time differences being so different, it's been hard to try to even get a day to do that with him.
It is.
Dad, another thing pissed me off is when I know this is probably gonna upset a lot of people, but I don't give a fuck. When we traded Brittany Griner for a fucking arms dealer bullshit thing, and we left a fucking veteran over there in jail in Russia.
You know, it's funny you say that because me and Mama had a conversation about that. I said, why is it that someone who is very well known and a popular basketball star and everything else, and they did everything in their power to be able to get it back. Now, with that being said, both of them, remember, one of them was convicted of espionage. Okay, what? Now, not saying I agree with it. Okay, because Russians, they make up shit as they go fucking along, and everything else. That was just a reporter, period, and was in that country for years. Was in that country for years before any of this happened between Washington and Russia. That's all political, and it's wrong. But you're able to get Brittany Griner out on a simple drug charge that she had some whatever, the marijuana thing or whatever the fuck that was they got her for. And I believe again, remember, it's because of her popularity that I believe got her released. It was because of her popularity.
She doesn't even like America, Dad. She doesn't even like America. You can see it on the video. She's done a video or an interview or something. And she freaking says, I don't like America. Well, if you don't like America, you
get the fuck out
in jail. I don't care.
I agree with you, sweetheart. No, I agree 100% with you. I'm sorry, anybody that has a problem with my country that I live in and I love and everything else. We ain't perfect. Fuck no, far from it. If anybody really says that my country, I don't give a fuck where you live, what country you live in. If you say that it's the best country in the world and there's nothing, you could say it's the best country in the world. Let me rephrase this, but you sure in the fuck can't say you ain't got your issues, okay? Because America, we got a lot of fucking issues and everything else.
Unfortunately, I'm going to do this instead.
Flip off?
No. Oh. The whole Tom McDonald thing. Oh. Every country's flag has a little blood. Basically, not one country in this world is perfect.
No.
Especially when it comes down to their political systems in each country.
Yeah.
And what we see here in our own country, we see a lot of the political stuff that they could do better on.
But Chris, I'll ask you this question then. Is what we deem as Americans is the right way to operate our countries? Are we inflicting our beliefs on other countries? Or should it be their right to decide how they want to be ruled, how they want to do their stuff? That's a touchy situation because there's some countries that say, you know what, the way things are in America, we don't want that,
And I can agree with that. It's not our choice to tell people how they should rule their countries. Everybody should be able to rule their own countries the way they want. But like I said, with us in our country, just speaking about our country, there is a lot of shit that can be changed to make everything better.
But what does Tom say? That's what they built the system for.
Exactly.
Keep you fucking down.
Yeah. And as I said before, all these different things the government wants us divided. And until the people like on the right and the people on the left start making that more and more known, man, oh man, the government will be shitting in their pants. They'll be shitting in their pants. Whoa, the people are coming together and everything else. No, we can't have that. No. You got your side, we got our side, and we're going to make it nothing but profit off the people. They make profit off us. It's all about money.
Yep.
It's all about money.
It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about the Greens. It's however you want to place it, but it's all about the politicians lining their own pockets.
Yep. I agree 100%. And at the end of the day, I believe that there will be someday a civil war, and that another
song.
And it's sad to actually say that I thought I'd never say it, but do I see it could happen? Yeah.
I can.
it's sad. It really is, because there's going to be people that are either cousins. Just think back in the Civil War days. You had brothers against brothers killing each
You
other.
had family against family.
And for what? And for what? For nothing. For nothing. Because exactly what's back in those days is the same shit that's happening fucking nowadays. We haven't learned not a fucking thing as America and everything else. We continue to allow the government to go ahead and dictate how we should think. I mean, again, you could be a Republican, but you're being told by the Republican base and everything else, and you probably want a fucking cracker. Plain and simple. God forbid that you got a different view on some of the things in which your party agrees with. Same like the damn Democrats. Damn Democrats, same way. If you don't agree with them, you're a hateful person. You're a bad person and everything else. No, you're not. You're an American. That you should have the right to choose what you support and what you don't support. Period. Period.
And you notice something funny about this whole race for president through politicians? Even though we say all lives matter, they pop it off as Black Lives Matter once every 4 years.
4 years, yeah. Just like another Tom song.
Yeah.
Notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't like, again, it is politics. Think about it.
Yep.
What percentage of the Democratic Party is black? Tell me. What would you think?
I would say like 2%.
No, I would say about 60% of the Democratic Party is black.
Okay. You mean all combined? Okay, I was thinking like just in the House.
Now, on the Republican side, I'm sorry to say, it's probably just look at your lawmakers. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah,
look at your lawmakers and everything else. It's probably 90% white. I wouldn't doubt it. Now, Hispanics are coming up in our country. A lot of people are Hispanic and everything else. Now, Democrats used to always take for granted the Hispanic vote. Now they are starting to lean towards Republicans and everything else.
Now, with those statistics that you just said, you want to hear something that's ironic about it? Abraham Lincoln's the one that put the fight to free the slaves.
Yep, and he had slaves.
And, he was Republican.
They were doing a little video of who created the KKK, and they're like, "Oh, the Republicans."
Nope.
No, that was the Democrats.
They were saying, "Who freed the slaves, Republicans or Democrats?" Oh, that was Republicans. I think.
No, Democrats. They were wrong on all three questions.
Yeah, I was like, some people are just kind of stupid when it comes to history, but
I wouldn't say stupid. I think they just don't. They're lazy and they don't want to actually look into the past, and they only want to take snippets of what they support, and then they forget the rest of what's actually out there. Like I said, I bring up the reason why I brought up Donald Trump in this live stream earlier was people fail to realize he was a hardcore Democrat. He was a Democrat before he became a Republican.
Yeah.
So he was able to. Why? Because what ended up happening is he shifted over to the Republican Party. Why? Money, plain and simple. I mean, this man now is making more money now when he left office. People, I mean, it's unfucking believable that people don't see that they don't see that. But again, I mean, it is what it is. All politicians, I ain't just talking about Donald Trump, all of them. They all make more money out of office than when they're in office. And it's a payback for what their policies were while they were in office. And they couldn't go ahead and accept it while in office because it's illegal. But while they're out of office, hell, you tell me, I'd love to go make a 10-minute speech and be offered $10 million to go make a fucking speech for 10 minutes. What the fuck is that?
And to bring up the whole thing about people not knowing about that shit, like Lincoln being Republican, trying to free the slaves, is because they're taking the shit out of the history books. That's what the system wants.
Yeah.
They're trying to dumb everyone down because half of the shit that we learned in school through history.
They want it out of the books.
They don't even fucking teach that shit.
Yep.
Desert Storm. What were we told that was? A Gulf War, right?
Yes.
8th grade, when my youngest one was in 8th grade, they said that wasn't even a war. That was a conflict.
Okay.
But the government told our soldiers when they did supply drops, if anyone came up on them while they were receiving that supply drop, to shoot them where they stand. It doesn't matter if they were American, Afghanistan, Iran, or anything like that.
Hi, Dorian. Dorian's here.
Hello, Dorian.
How are you, hon?
But you're 100% right. You're 100% right, Chris. No doubt about it.
And I can actually remember being told that by a military soldier when our history teacher asked one of the kids to see if his brother could come in and speak with the class on the military and what was going on over in the Gulf War. I can remember that shit from the 8th grade, and it made me sick just hearing it.
How do you learn? Here, let me ask a question. When you're raising your kids, right? They go ahead and do something that was very dangerous or whatever the case may be, and they got hurt or whatever the case may be. Then you decide as a parent, hey, don't do that again. Don't do that again. Then they go ahead and they do it again. Same end result or whatever the case may be. And then say you got family over and you're like, no, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it and everything else. Like I said, I made the reference to Kyle. He got a DUI. Okay.
Right.
I'm not proud of that whatsoever. He made a stupid decision and it could have cost his life or somebody else's life and everything else.
Exactly.
But I'm open to talk about it even when my brother-in-laws or anybody comes over. It's called learning from your history. But if you wipe out the history aspect of it, how can you be reminded of anything? Same thing like with Germany, with fucking Hitler or whatever. Germany tries to like wipe that out like it wasn't part of their history, like it doesn't exist. No, it did happen. Why? Use that as a teaching mechanism that could never happen again. This was horrific. It was horrific what happened and everything else. The only way we learn as Americans is learn from our fucking history. Learn from it and everything else. Not wipe it out.
It's made.
Yep.
That's why I keep saying history will repeat itself. And they say, oh, that's not history. It never happened. I say, excuse me? Yeah, that fucking happened.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Learn from it.
You have to learn from it but again, people want to just wipe out all the bad that happened in America and just want to talk about all the kumbaya shit. Well, you know what? You're not making America great or America strong or whatever the hell you want to say. Because once you try to wipe that out of people's minds and everything else, guess what? It's going to happen again. It'll happen again. We're going to make the same mistakes over and over again. You could call it a different name of a war all the hell you want. A war is a fucking war, period. You can give it a name for the era and everything else. But, after a while, there is nobody that gains from a fucking war. You don't gain. You're just going to have death and destruction and people's lives completely ruined and everything else. And then when the wars are over, people coming back and they got mental illness. They got, like a day in Vietnam, you had the Agent Orange and everything else. You had so much shit that America needs to go ahead and learn from its past. And if you eliminate the fucking past out of the history books, how in the fuck is the future generations going to learn anything? You're never going to learn.
It's like tearing down statues.
Just like the statues. Hell, the fucking, what was it? The George Washington Library? They wanted to rename it in D.C.?
Yep.
Yeah. That to me is asinine. I'm sorry. You can't rewrite history. History is exactly what the hell it is. You know what I'm saying? Nerdy says, Dad, Abraxas and Miss Abraxas. Peace. Thanks for the chat. I gotta go do a thing. Much love, guys. Hey, listen, Jason, sometime you pop up on there if you're ever interested or whatever the case may be, and you can actually get into this. I'd love to get your take on shit.
Oh, I would love it too.
Yeah, I would too.
I'd still love to get that interview with you.
Oh, it would be a good deal. It would be a good deal.
Just let me know when you're ready, and all you gotta do is message me on Facebook.
Yes. Message him.
Just ask Lunatic Dad. He had a ball up here.
I always have a ball up here. What are you talking about?
I with the interview.
Oh yeah, his fucking interviews. Watch out, buddy. Oh, watch out. He'll come out of fucking left field with something, and you'll be like, "What the fuck? Where did you get that from?"
Chris, what about the Chinese spy plane?
Oh, the Chinese spy plane, the blimp.
Oh, yeah. Well, that again, that's there's always going to be people that try to go ahead and tap into our, intelligence and everything else. And let's face the facts, we do it too. We do it too. I mean, that's what all the countries do. They try to gain an upper edge on the other one. Maybe not to invade them or do anything or whatever. They just keeping an eye out. China's very good for it. Very good for it. And I'm sure we got the same thing going on in their country to monitor what the hell's happening. I'm sure we do. I mean, hell, we can get into everything else. It wouldn't fucking surprise me.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I'll just use the satellites instead. It's more sneaky of an attack or attempt to see what's going on.
Oh, yeah. But your job is to get us a guest every freaking week, Chris. Why don't you give us a guest?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you're shame on you. I'm going to slap you with your own saliva. Just saying. I'm going to have you like a fucking dog. Put your head out the goddamn window, open it down, and go real fast. And then I'm going to be like, Chris, open up your mouth. And then you're going to open up your mouth. And it's going to slap you right back in the goddamn face. It'll be kind of funny. I think so.
Probably.
I'd love to see it. You'd be like one of them pit bulls with all that big beard of yours you got. And all just damn drooling down into your beard and shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Damn, we're almost an hour and 40 minutes, buddy.
Last time we were over 2 hours.
I cannot believe that shit.
But look at the subject. There's a lot of people that's afraid to say anything, even if they are in here.
Well, yeah. Again, I did tell you when you told me politics, I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
You actually, I should say, told me a lot, especially on this subject. Because I was never the one to watch politics or anything. I just heard about what was coming up, the good, the bad. And if I didn't hear it, I looked it up online. What's the pros and cons of all the shit being voted on?
But
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know the Constitution.
That's another thing. Constitution. That should trump all government actions anyways, and people throw that right out the window like it never existed.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that try to rewrite the Constitution and everything else in what they believe was interpreted in the Constitution. You got some very strong right-wing people that literally would take word for word. Remember, the Constitution also was signed when? Way back, right?
1776, I believe.
There you go. So now we're in what year?
2023.
Okay. So did a lot of that stuff that pertained to then pertain to the lives of Americans now? A lot of it is not, and everything else. That's why people are always trying to remember, in order to add anything into the Constitution and everything else, that's not easy to do. That is not easy to do. I think you need like 60% or 70% of the Senate to agree. I forgot the percentage. I mean, I could be off a little bit.
I think it took 70% to make any changes like that.
Unless you had that stupid, I don't know, filibuster or whatever. I don't know.
Well, the filibuster is, like I said, I mean, that is used for parties to go ahead and block the other party and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, but in the long run, like I said, I mean, until that people in America start realizing that we're Americans first, party second. I always hear this.
Right.
I hear this on these right wing channels, especially on D Live. I see it all the time, and everything. They're all talking about their philosophies and what they show that when they bash the Democrats or whatever the case may be. Why don't they just turn around and just say Americans first? You can't tell me that you can have 1,000 people in a chat, 1,000 people in a chat, and every one of them agree with the same ideology, and there is no difference. Like I said, there's going to be things that people don't agree with. Dad, okay, that's good. I want you not. If you don't agree with me, just tell me, dude, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm going to give you the respect. I'm going to respect you because we have difference of an opinion or whatever the case may be. I'm still going to go to sleep at night, go to work the next day, and have sex with mama. I'm still going to do the above three regardless. I mean,
You do what you need to on your time.
yeah, exactly.
Just hearing somebody else's opinion on anything on these subjects would be amazing. Because it's not like we're the only ones with voices here.
Yeah.
There is what? How many people are in the United States?
What, 370 million?
370 million?
Somewhere. It's up there.
There is another 370 some odd million other voices.
Yep.
And when it comes to politics all over the world, there's just many more there as well.
Yep. But you know, the bad part about it is that a lot of people that now religions are getting into the politics, and that bothers me because, I've always believed the separation of church and state. I don't believe religion should ever get involved in politics, but it does, because a lot of religious groups, like I said, with the abortion thing and everything else, there's some people celebrating it. Okay. And believe it or not, there are a lot of like me being a Catholic. I'm sure there's Catholics just oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. We waited so long and everything else. I was taught that. I was taken to the Museum of Science and Industry here in Chicago, Illinois, and they had the stages of dead babies in a bottle from abortions, and they still have it up. They still have it. It's still there, and they have the different weeks and months and everything, how big the baby is and everything else. And I'm sitting there. Back then, me going to a Catholic school, they made us have to do a paper on it and everything else. So, but when I seen that as a young boy, I'm sitting there, I think I was like 10, 11 years old, and I'm seeing all the dead babies in the jar with the formaldehyde in there and everything else. I seen that.
I could picture you having nightmares over that at that
Oh
age.
my gosh. I told that to my mom and my dad. I'm like, it freaked me out. I mean, I wasn't ready at 10 years old to see dead babies in a bottle. I was not ready to see that. But remember, back then, the church and everything else, they've been waiting a long time for this to be reversed, Roe versus Wade, But it is what it is. It is one of these things. Hey, Nina, how you doing, sweetheart?
Hey, Nina.
But, again, I seen that at a very young age. But again, when we bring up the abortion thing and everything else, there are things that I am, like I said, there's parts of it I agree, parts of it I disagree. Okay, which would be against my faith. Like I said, rape and incest, plain and simple. I don't believe that's a sin to get an abortion, because you're killing an evil act that was done trying to bring life into this world. Okay, now that's just my belief. That's just my belief. It does not have to be everybody's belief. Okay.
Exactly.
But again, if you're at a party and you're fucking spreading your legs and everything else, and you get pregnant, and then you're like, oh fuck, I can't be able to have the kid, I can't support it or whatever. Well, then give the child up. Give it up. Let a couple that cannot have children and everything else raise that child. Now that's just my belief. Okay. It doesn't have to be your belief or anybody else's belief. That is just something I believe in.
Right. Exactly.
And when the government decides to decides to reverse that to a pro-choice, it's like, Really?
Well, pro-choice and pro-life is, believe it or not, a lot of people. You ask a pro-life person, okay? If a woman is getting raped by 6 guys and she gets pregnant, should she have the baby? I would be interested on people who are anti-abortion. Answer that one question: should a woman have to have the child if she got raped by 6, 7 dudes and she got pregnant? Mm.
Right.
That's a touchy thing. It's very, very touchy. Me personally, I say no. Now that's my belief. Okay. But if she goes to a party and she lays down with a dude or whatever and gets pregnant, be like, oh man, I shouldn't have, and I got pregnant or whatever. Well, you know what? You weren't forced. You did it of your own free will to go ahead and have sex and everything else. If you can't afford it, trust me, there are so many people in America that cannot have children at all. They'll be more than happy to raise that child and give it life. It's very touchy. Me and you touch on subjects in the future and everything else, but I think that one is a very touchy. I mean, I think it's more touchier than politics. I think it's touchier than more than politics.
It will be a touchy subject when we do it.
It will be. It will be. And like I said, I would love, again, Chris, your job, your and Missy's job is to get people that are not, I don't want like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? I want the other side's opinion on things. That would be beautiful and everything else. And then we could show people that, hey, it is okay to disagree to agree. Okay.
Right.
It's okay to do that. We don't have to agree on every fucking thing, because if we do that, then what are we different than our damn politics? What are we different if you're a Republican or a straight up Democrat or whatever the case may be? We ain't no different. We got to be open minded in our thinking of other people's thoughts and what they believe and everything else. And hey, maybe, you never know. Maybe future subjects, there might be something that people will turn around and be like, hey, you know what? You might have changed Dad's mind on something or whatever.
Right.
It's possible. I'm not stuck in my ways. I mean, I'm old, but damn, I ain't that fucking old that you can't change my mind about things.
So, okay. Next week, we already got racism out and politics.
We barely touched either subject, but we can.
Right.
I mean, but we can always, rehash maybe different things within a subject that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like we did with politics. We hashed into a bunch of shit that we're going to be talking about in the future.
Right.
Do you have something that you think can bring in a good uprise?
Well,
to talk about?
I truly believe that, in my eyes, is groups sticking together that they don't believe in their heart that it is bad against somebody. Like on social medias, there are people that they want to come out and say, you know what, I did nothing to you and you did nothing to me, but I'm sorry, I stuck with people because I could not go ahead and be strong enough to stand up for myself and say, hey, you know what? You did nothing wrong to me, but yet I treated you like shit. I went ahead and just went against you only because of your affiliations or whatever on YouTube. Like I said, there's going to be people, and it already happens,
Yep.
that there's going to be people that like that. There's going to be people that hate that and everything else. But I think society itself has to change their mentality, that don't go by what you see of the person. Don't go by hearsay. I mean, hearsay is probably one of the biggest problems on social media. Hearsay is a big time problem. Is that, well, I heard him say this or whatever the case may be privately or whatever the case may be. But things get sometimes mixed up or twisted, that the actual thing that was actually said is not actually accurate, with what the person is accusing myself or yourself or whatever the case may be. And I do want to say thank you to you and Missy having the balls to do this every week with Dad and everything else because, like I said, I'm not the most popular person on, say, D Live. I'm believe me when I tell you that I'm not, and everything else. And you always tell me you put that damn sticker down. Now I can finally look at you in the eye and say, quit fucking doing it. I am not a legend on fucking D Live. Okay, I do not. I'd love for people to come out, but they don't like to, come out and bullshit me. You know me, I don't shut the fuck up. I'm just like a fucking nonstop,
Well, you gotta see it my point of view when I say things like that. The man, the myth, the legend.
Mm.
I only had what 250 subscribers.
Yeah.
When you graced my channel with a subscribe, and you were at 14,000.
A lot of people don't do that.
The thing is, with you doing something like that to somebody that has basically nothing on there, it hypes them up.
Yeah, what about
You've done a lot for me that you don't even know about just by hitting that subscribe button. And now you're what? Over 35,000?
You're
Almost 31.
Oh, almost 31. I thought it was higher than that.
But
what hell?
But my brother, you got to understand that Dad is I only look for true friendship. Okay.
Right.
That and as you say, I've given you something, you've given me something back in return, which is a friendship, a bond, and everything. That's more important to me than any numbers that ever can be out there and everything else. Because like I said, I get a bad rap up on other social medias and everything else. I get a bad rap, some of it because I lost my shit 14 months ago or whatever and everything else. But that, I'm human. I'm a human fucking being. And I'm sorry that I have emotions. I'm sorry sometimes I may lose my shit or whatever the case may be, but I'm not truly trying to hurt anybody. That is not my agenda. That's not my agenda. I don't want to hurt anybody, period. Okay. Yeah. I know I can live stream up on D Live. I really believe when I get rolling, if there were actual people that came out in my live stream and everything else, I can get rolling like with the best of them. I'm talking about some really good live streamers that are on that platform. I'm talking about really good live streamers that got it all dazzled up and they're talking and everything else nonstop. That's not a problem for Dad. I have the gift of fucking gab. Okay, that it is what it is. And remember, I'm old, so don't you think that I've been through a lot? Don't you think that I've seen a lot and I got my opinions on things and everything else? Very, very, and I've seen it. And again, I may be knowledgeable, but at the other hand, sometimes I'm also stupid. It is what it is. I won't change for nothing. I will not change. I say, if you look at me as family, I will embrace you. But if you go ahead and call me family and then you stab me in the back, I will never, ever trust you again. It doesn't matter. That's just the way I live my life. I mean, forget social medias. I'm talking about even here. If there's certain ones of my kids that do something that is like really bad and everything else, I love you. Yes. You're my son. Yes. I will do anything for you. Yes. Do I trust you? Hell fucking no. Okay. I mean, it is what it is.
I don't know if you realize how nervous I was to ask you about coming up for an interview that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was actually nervous because to me, you're big. You're a big YouTuber, even though you ain't got the millions or billions of subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, you were big because you had more subscribers than what I ever thought I would be able to get.
A lot more, yeah.
And it made me nervous, and it's like, oh my God, he actually said yes.
Yeah, but look at it this way. Look at how over all these years that we've grown a bond, that we can just talk to each other just people.
Yep.
Just three people having a good time on a live stream and everything else. And there ain't nothing more than that. I mean, as I said before, You know, when you've got people that actually, like I said, when my total agenda is just to be talking to shit with you, and that's all it is. I don't get
Yep.
anything to gain. I don't. I mean, here's the thing that Dad has been accused of. Okay, that I go ahead and hang out with people and do live streams and everything else. That I get a monetary gain. I trust me when I tell you this, Chris. I have that I get a monetary gain. I'm sitting there like monetary fucking gain. What in the fuck are you talking about? You know,
Right.
why do you think Dad is always like when people like even when I go on my channel live stream or whatever, I don't live stream on my channel to gain money or whatever, in case someone will shoot me a super chat or whatever the fuck it is and everything else. And I'm sitting there like, you ain't got to do that, not to, for me to read your comment or bullshit with you. I don't give a fuck about no goddamn super chat. I don't care. Well,
Right.
come on. I mean, am I making millions of dollars off this shit and everything else? No. But if I gained your respect and I've gained your friendship, that is your super chat to me.
Right.
That's more important than any money. Any
Oh
amount.
yeah. Oh yeah. I gain nothing. I gain nothing.
Dad, I'm a
Yes,
joke
sweetheart.
with you. You're riding our coattails.
I am riding your coattails.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay. That whole thing about what we talked about after the stream
Huh?
last week.
yeah.
I
hear.
I told Missy if people are afraid of a bond that me and Lunatic Dad has to that extent to actually have to say shit like that,
They're jealous.
they're fucking jealous as hell.
Well, well, yeah. I'll agree with you on that. I mean, there's
How
no
I see it.
there's no other way to sugarcoat it. I mean, it is what it is.
I wanted to say that. I was trying to make you laugh.
He did. He giggled.
I gave you a grin.
He giggled a little.
Dad,
I seen it.
what about bullying and cyberbullying?
That's another subject to write down.
Would that be a good one to do?
Yeah.
That actually would be a very good one. I write that one down. And I would love for my beautiful Nina. I love her. Believe it or not, I don't see her much, but she is a beautiful person. I like Nina. I mean, she's someone that Dad actually really got a little tinkle in his eye for, and everything else.
Tinkle.
I would love her to come up on because we do it every Monday, Nina. Just thought I'd let you know we do this, but we, like I said, I mean, and then when we start like coming towards the end, like we go live, then we start talking about anything and we just go
Right.
we go off course and everything else. But I enjoy it. As I said before, I enjoy being able to do these type of things and everything else on the Mondays. Because like I said, I don't go live much, on my channel because I just don't. I just don't. I mean, but I look at it as, I love to go ahead and see your mentality. I love to see other people's mentality and everything else to just see how society may have changed over the years. Have I gotten too fucking old that I'm stuck in 1970? I don't know. It's possible.
Another one would be SSI. And if we would happen to lose it, and disability. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the subjects I already had written down to cover.
Okay.
I should put disability and mental health on that one. I'll be right back.
Look at that. I'm glad when you got up, I thought he was going to fart right in the fucking camera. Hey, listen, you got to sleep with that girl. I mean, there ain't nothing I could do about that. Listen,
stop dust to me before the fan went on and he farts right as soon as he gets in front, and then the fan blows. But oh my god!
Oh yeah. I shit. There's times that when Mama's dead asleep and I'm really like I got a lot of gas build up, and there's times I'll purposely put the cover over her fucking head when I do it, and you just start seeing Mama's body twitching a little and everything else. And she's like, "You're lucky I can't smell." I'm like, "Yeah," because she had that long extended COVID thing. So her senses to smell and taste are like basically non-existent and everything. But I told her, I said, "Yeah," I said, "I'm damn knocking my own damn self out now." Oh yeah, it's bad, girl. It's bad.
Oh my god.
No doubt about it.
When we first got married, you Dutch oven me. Yeah, I know that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, listen. Hey, I always tell Mama, a married couple that doesn't have a problem with farting right next to each other and it doesn't bother them or make them feel weird or whatever, that's a good marriage. It's gonna last a long fucking time.
The thing is that Severe likes to sleep in between both of us, and Chris will be laying on his side, and all of a sudden he'll go and hit my roof, and she'll like look at it and get up and jump down. Like, oh,
were you talking shit about me about my behind my back, girl?
No,
Yep.
Dad started it.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna fuck the camera.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We were just talking about how you crop dust, fucking Missy.
Oh well, she enjoys it.
He said, "I'm surprised you didn't fart in the camera."
Actually, I've been pointing right at her.
Yeah. I told him you fart right in front of me and the fan's blowing back, and then yeah, that's fine.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But no, I mean, like I said, and again, if you're lurking or watching or people get in touch with Chris and Missy, we're allowing one person to come up as a guest or whatever the case may be. But I do not live stream with multiple people, like 4, 5, 6 people. That's out of the question because then we get chaotic and it just does not come off as a good live stream whatsoever when everybody's talking over each other. I am the one that is anti-panels. Okay, I am an anti-panel of 4, 5, 6, 7 people. One person with us, we're good. We can maintain that, but otherwise,
Tanya was that disability thing. Though.
Yeah,
I
already talked to her about it.
Okay.
How's Froggy doing?
She's actually doing real good. They're in process of probably going to be getting ready here soon to come here.
Yeah, they're coming
to visit.
Yeah.
They're coming here in June. They should be here on the 8th. So I'm taking the 8th and 9th off.
Oh, yeah.
And leaving Sunday.
They're leaving
then getting ready to pack up to move to Texas.
Nice. Hey, Hensley Paranormal is in the house.
Hensley.
Hey, Hensley. How are
you? He's probably sitting there saying, well, what the fuck is it about? Shit, we've been live 2 hours already, Hensley. I mean, if you ever want to check this replay or whatever, it is actually another outstanding live stream brought to you by Mr. Chris, Abraxas Paranormal, and the beautiful, the voluptuous Missy, and Lunatic Dad.
The man, the myth, the legend.
It actually was.
We need to try to get Hensley up there about something.
Oh, yeah. As I said before.
Hey, Hensley, if you have any ideas on what we can talk about, shoot them in the chat.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. It always doesn't have to be like societal issues, everything we're tackling, everything. I mean, it could be the paranormal. I mean, whatever. I mean, long as it ain't about that Lunatic Dad has a bigger dick than fucking Chris. I mean, we can't talk about that. That is private, and I cannot let that out there.
What about like when you got freaked out just by seeing the picture before? That was funny, Dad. That was funny.
I don't know if you're really paying attention. That a lot of times when I'm looking actually through you, Missy, to pay attention to the pictures. You guys have permanently stained me in your house when that picture fucking moved. And I was like, yeah, there is no fan. There is nothing. You're not even close to the pictures. There's no way a fucking picture can go, where? No way. Impossible. Fucking possible.
Well, you think that stained you? When you come to visit, we're probably going to stain you even more because we're going to take you out to a haunted location, even if we have to pay for it.
Well, that doesn't bother me. I mean, again, I'm not afraid of the paranormal. You know, I just don't have a lot of knowledge. You know, I've been around a lot of people that do paranormal, as you well know.
Yeah,
a lot of paranormal community know Dad and everything else, and I pop streams and everything else. But as far as me having any fucking clue what the fuck I'm doing, hell no.
Oh, I'll help you out.
Well, Dad, there was
you ain't blindfolding me, motherfucker. You are not blindfolded.
No, you're blindfolding me.
I can do that.
There was one picture that we took. I took them down in the basement. Amy was sitting in the chair, and standing behind Chris, it looked like the silhouette of Amy behind him.
And she was sitting in the
And
chair.
She was sitting down.
Heatful Joker's in your chat.
Yo, what up, people?
Hey,
Yeah.
Joker.
He called me an old man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think
Not you, lunatic. I'll have my heads off.
he was talking about Chris.
Talking about me.
Oh. Go ahead, sweetheart. We were rudely interrupted by
I was just
by
saying
me.
that how Amy was in the chair and then there's like a silhouette standing behind Chris.
That looked just like
And
her.
it looked just like her.
Oh. Whoa. I am old. Shit. I'll be 64 years old in August, people.
Yeah, don't let him lie to you. He's probably only about 42.
All right, I'm 31.
Where's
I'm
she
actually 31. I just grew up kind of fast. I'm
Right.
gonna slap Chris right in his vajayjay.
at?
But
No,
no,
if you guys have an idea on what we could
Yeah.
talk about, just shoot it in the chat,
Yep.
know. And you even want to come up on our stream, just let Chris know.
we are doing it every Monday. So that is your fucking jobs, people. All right, that's your fucking jobs. And like I said, I mean, I enjoy the live streams. I told you that. Dad doesn't do hardly no live stream. I do some up on D Live, but it's like for 20, 30 minutes now or whatever the case may be, little music. And then I'm like, okay, gotta go and everything else. But, far as actual real live streaming, like real topics and talking real shit and real life and everything, YouTube is where Dad will only be found on those type of live streams. That is what it is. I'm in the same month as Nina. I knew that, Nina. We're both in August, sweetheart. We are both in August, no doubt about it. The best month, Leo the Lion. Get it?
No. The double-headed thing is the best. Me and Chris, we're Gemini, both of us.
Well, believe it or not, the signs, a Gemini and a Leo, are the closest signs to one another. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
They are. A Gemini and a Leo will get along very well.
There you go.
Yep, it's true. Look it up. I'm not just
Yeah,
making
but I wish
shit
I
up.
would have my kids in August then.
Right.
I mean, it was just like your son when he came out there, and that was the first time that he came out and he actually showed himself and talking and everything else. I was like, cool. That's good shit, lollipop. We're going on right there. Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. There was something I was gonna say, but I forgot what I was saying. Maybe I'll have to wait till I can think about it.
Wow.
Oh, my son. I thought about it. Cody says another stream that you can do, Mom, is feminist. Talk about feminist. You know how they have that what is it? Cam kill all men thing
Oh.
going on? Yeah. That's bullcrap.
KM.
I have no fucking clue what you're even talking about.
KAM. It stands for Kill All Men.
Yeah.
What the fuck? No, I don't want that.
That's
No.
No.
what a lot of these feminists are believing.
Yeah. And by the way, Dad, he's not going to eat any M&Ms, any Skittles or anything like that. They support feminism. He's like, I'm not eating them no more.
Whoa. Hey, listen, my Bud Light one, they have it to where they support the transgender. And like I said, to me, we touched on that a little bit and everything else. I really don't give a shit about your sexuality because last time I checked, I lay down with Mama, unzip her pants and scratch and sniff, and I'm good. Just saying.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, see that? Well, hey, listen, you don't know what you're going to get when you get me on a live stream, hon. But
I have no problem with them, but it's like, okay, don't be shoving your shit down my throat. And it's just like people that go to church and are Bible thumpers, okay? If I want to go to church, I'll go to church, but don't be shoving it down my throat because I don't play that.
That is a subject you want to write down. Is people that portray themselves out in society as loving Christians, Catholics, or any religion, and then behind in the real life, when they get out of the church, they're actually fucking devils, and the way they treat people and everything else. That is a good subject to go
Right.
ahead and touch on. I see it happen all the time. All the time.
Church people masquerading themselves.
Mm. Yeah, and that can cover a lot, not just religion. I mean,
Right.
that can cover a whole beast of an animal and everything else.
We might have to do that in 2 parts.
You might have to do that in 20 fucking parts. What are you talking about? We may have 6 months worth of
Oh, yeah.
content right there.
Dad, should
Yes,
we have
hon.
Mom up on this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
Well,
like,
you had Mama up here last week and everything else and everything. But like I said, I did not want her to be a part of this live stream because I know her thing when it comes to the abortion, and I did not. I just don't want to put her through that.
right.
I know that. Other things, yeah, she's got her opinions on the politics and everything else, but when we got into the abortion thing, and forget it. I mean, that's just not a good issue to bring with her.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
hell, my kid wants me to go do a paranormal investigation over in Germany, wasn't it? At a concentration camp.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's that again. That type of live stream. She's got probably more knowledge than any motherfuckers when it comes to that concentration camp. Because, like I said, her grandparents got killed in Auschwitz and everything else, and put to death and everything. Nope.
I'm not going now.
Nope.
No. Mama was very open about that and everything. That would be a subject that she would. She's got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
Mama's got a lot of knowledge on this shit.
The thing is, that's a concentration camp he wanted me to go to do an investigation.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've seen it on YouTube.
I hate to do it in case if I actually get we are so connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
having her grandparents come over my spirit box.
Oh well. Do you remember?
I can see where she would break down in tears.
Do you remember when my brother came over your spirit box? This was years ago. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. That was the time when you actually freaked the fuck out of me because he said Michael, and when I heard that name come over, I was like, "What the fuck? How is this even possible?" And no one can deny it because when I listen to like paranormal stuff like that, I put on my headsets all the time because they tell you put on the headset because it's a lot, you're gonna hear more. Yep. And when I heard his name come across and everything else, I was like, "Holy shit! Where in the hell did that come from?" Because it was clear as day, Michael. I was like,
and I think it actually said your actual name too.
Yeah,
that live stream, if I remember correctly.
We've done that to a couple people.
Yeah, we've done that to a lot of people.
Yeah, because Blue, we had Blue up here for an interview, and we were running the spirit box, and it came over Mom. She started crying.
Mm.
It was her baby that she had a miscarriage.
Mm. Mm.
You remember Blood X, right?
Oh yeah.
Right after we got down here, not too long after we got down here, I was doing a live stream with the spirit box. I asked them, what town did I come from? And we waited for a few minutes. Nothing came over.
And then Blood
asked about his friend that was murdered. And then it came over what town I was from and his friend's name.
Mm.
And they were both Jackson.
And he almost lost it.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Well, like I said, that's for another day. Stuff like that.
Concentration. Right. I want Mom to come up here because there's a lot of people that just don't really understand,
what type of damage they can do and all that.
Yeah, what it's all about, because.
Oh yeah, Mama, like I said, I mean, she is such her experiences in life. Like I said, she's a little bit younger than me, but her experiences being from another country, being from that time of communism and everything else, and all the stuff she's been through, it's amazing. And I always tell her, I said, we need to make a podcast, me and you. And she's like, nope, she will not do it with me. And I'm like, why don't you want to do a podcast with me? and everything else. She's like, no, because we're just going to keep talking and talking and talking for hours. And I don't have time for that. I'm like, oh my Lord. I said, you talk about this stuff anyway for me,
Well,
Right.
tell her we can break it up into segments if it's too
Yeah.
much, you know.
Do part 1 week. We can change the subject, go back to it for a part 2,
Mhm.
and all that.
Exactly.
That way it
Exactly.
doesn't take too much time for her, you know.
Well, like I said, the next subject or whatever, I'm gonna bring Mama up. She can actually be up there a little bit with you guys before me, before I pop on or whatever.
So
Okay.
leave out abortions and
The abortion one, I would just leave out. I would not touch that subject. I mean, because you may get her riled up and everything else about
Right.
something, and I don't want your fucking channel to get taken down because Mama has strong opinions on that type of matter. And when she gets fucking going, trust me, she gets going.
Don't want
Let
to
me
bring
tell
up
you.
the
No.
fact of transgender and bisexual. And
Well, right now what I got written down: millennials' feelings, heritage, and disabilities. I can talk to Froggy, try to get her up next week.
Froggies, yeah.
And
On disabilities.
like how sometimes, I mean, see, this is a touchy thing is, people, I'm not saying all people, okay, I'm not generalizing this, but people with disabilities sometimes also want special treatment. Okay, now that is a touchy subject.
Yep.
But I want to make this very clear because some people may run with it. Well, Dad said that people with disabilities want special treatment. No, what I'm trying to say is that some people use their disabilities to get over on people, that they may only have a touch of, ADHD, a touch of it, like that. Dad's
I agree.
ADHD. I have ADHD, but that doesn't give me no excuse if I go ahead and start treating you like shit and everything else and blame it on my ADHD. Oh, I had a moment. No, you didn't have a moment. You had a complete fucking meltdown and everything else. And you got to still be held accountable in how you go ahead and treat people. You still have to be held accountable. Just because you have disabilities doesn't make you that you're completely it doesn't make you that you're completely not liable for how you treat people and everything else.
Exactly.
You can't blame everything on disabilities. I'm sorry, is basically what I'm saying. You can't blame everything on
I have another thing. PTSD. A lot of people have PTSD.
yeah.
That's part of disability.
Yeah, that all falls into that.
We can actually break that up into a couple different shows as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Hey, I'm gonna run this thing on my D Live channel, by the way.
That's fine. I kind of figured you were.
I always download your shit. I don't know if you noticed the last one.
I thought you were already actually running it.
No. I could not run it because you're the one that is it's your channel. I can't do it.
I didn't know if you could just put it over to your OBS while we're doing it live right now, or you have to record it, or what.
I don't even know how to do that.
Okay.
No, the only thing I do is after this is done, I download the stream into my downloading machine I have that it downloads any video I want, and it takes like 3-4 minutes, and then I just expand it out and hit go live, and it's done.
Oh, that's fine. I told you have all access to them.
Dad.
Yes.
Did you see? Okay, in that one video that you posted, okay, he's sitting there and you hear hi, and he goes hi, and then you hear a little girl go okay. Like, it was so cute. Like, oh. I get excited when I hear shit
the
like
small
that.
little things that amuse her.
Well, then again, looking from your waist down, that also amuses her. So I mean, small little things. I'm sorry. You said it. I didn't.
At least it's bigger than a millimeter Peter.
Well, I'm
I'm
off to go stream more soon, South Park. I'll leave your stream up. Have a great day, you guys. Thank you, Mr. Heatful Joker.
Bye, Joker.
Awesome, Joker.
What's up, honey? I hope everything went well.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to that point anyway. I got to get ready for work now. Don't forget.
Yeah, he's got to go to sleep.
I have to eventually go to bed. I do have to go to bed. But look at it this way: another one over 2 hours again.
I know.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good. That's not bad.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to politics.
Yeah.
They're still alive.
There's
Oh,
still
yeah.
a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like racism, there's still a lot.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched anything. I mean, in the realm of things. I mean, we're dabbling in everything else, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, more the merrier is what I say.
Yep.
And it's just going to give us things to talk about later, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly. All right, so
we got to end this, Chris, because we got to get something to eat.
Yes, you and I have to get something to eat and
Thanks
everything
for coming up, Dad, again. Love and light to everybody. Anybody has any comments or any questions or whatever, just hit us up. We're here.
Well, if you want to even come up for one, you're more than welcome to, because 3 heads or 4 heads is better than one.
Well, I don't know about that, but
shit can get off rails easy too.
Yeah, but we can get more opinions as well.
Dad, 4 heads is better than one, not necessarily.
Well, me and Chris's tip of our heads will touch someday. Just saying. So we would all like to personally thank Heathful Joker, Baby Yoda, Nina. Who else do we got? What the hell?
Betty.
Why doesn't it let us do it?
Nerd. You've talked about Nerd.
Yes, Nerd of the North.
Hensley.
Yep.
Hensley Paranormal. Yep. But like I said, everybody who did come out and everything else, we are grateful and everything else. And like I said, things do always get better and better and better. So jump on the 8 train, which is known as Abraxas Paranormal with Lunatic Dad. Jump on the train, because we're going to take you for a motherfucking ride, and we're going to toot our fucking horns and just all aboard. Jump on the 8 train. Thank you very much, guys, for everybody coming out. And I will let the host of Abraxas and Missy to go ahead and finalize their stream. Thank you for coming on out. I do appreciate your love and support to my fam, Abraxas Paranormal. Go ahead, guys.
You got anything else to say before I even get started? Because I know how you are.
No, I want to.
Because you're going to think of something when I'm in the middle of saying
I'm hungry. I want to end it. Let's go.
I guess she's done. Okay, guys. Yes, thank you guys very much for coming on and listening to us. Couple old people. Hey, the thing is, we can't do this shit if you guys aren't here. We can't do this shit just by our opinions as well. You do have an opinion on this show. State your opinion. You might change us, or you might change him. Whatever it may be. But we do appreciate it. Much love to each and every one of you that came out and participated. Much love to the ones that watches the replay. But with that being said, I'd like to thank, of course, the awesome guest that he is, the man, the myth, our legend, Lunatic Dad, for coming up. Really? Really? There you go. But yes, with that being said, guys, thank you for coming and have a good day. Enjoy yourselves for the rest of your day. If you got to work, have a safe day at work. And we'll see you next Monday. Peace.
God, he talks too much.